Hello and welcome to this culture segment. I am Lynette Bahati. A lot of people face pressure from the society to settle down, in simpler terms, to get married. And it mostly happens before and even after hitting 30. Questions like, when are you getting married? And statements like, I should be seeing my grandchildren, are all hints that time is up for a man or a woman to continue being single. You might even have seen the headline about a girl who married herself in the recent weeks. The lady's name is Jemimah Lulu, who grabbed international headlines when she made a mock wedding to deter pressure from her parents, who had been asking when she would get married. But this was not Lulu's major preoccupation. Her first priority is to finish her studies at the Oxford University in the UK. However, this has not been easy for her because she cannot afford the tuition fees. You can find all the details on her GoFundMe blog. But she went ahead and got married on her 32nd birthday to the one person she is certain will always take care of her. Take a look. Quite an interesting wedding there. Following Lulu's story, a number of women and even men said that they could relate to the pressure from family to get married. One of those is Uganda's influential media personality, Sima Sabiti. She joked on Twitter that she could do the same, and coincidentally, another Twitter user, Bernard, who is a lawyer, said the same thing. Sima asked him if they could then marry each other since they had the same problem, and this gave birth to a mock wedding that took place on Friday last week. But it's not certain if Sima and Bernard could actually be into each other and if they could make their vows stick. But one thing is for certain, Uganda and many parts of Africa, or even the world, has never seen a wedding like this. But I was able to catch up with Lulu and I asked her why she decided to marry herself and how her family reacted to the news that she would get married to herself.
My parents have always been proud of me for a very long time. I mean, it's not even easy for them to have a daughter with such hair. But what I was worried about is what people would think of them, you know, because obviously they want me to get married like any other parent. They want the best for me. But I think that what they understand and what a lot of people need to understand is that for me, this was a commitment to my academic life.
So Lulu, your main focus is on your studies and people have been contributing to help you fund your studies. How has the feedback been?
The feedback has been interesting. So of course, with online platform and with crowdfunding, you kind of tend to focus on the negative things because I did this for my first year. So when I got into Oxford, I needed to crowdfund for tuition. And I did it the first time, but this is the first time I've used the marriage idea. And of course, there's been some negative feedback, but there's also been a lot of support.
And what advice would you give young women who go through the same pressure of being told to settle down?
Any girl out there who's getting pressured to get married, I understand where you're coming from. And the truth is that you have to remember that you've been pressured to go through school, you've been pressured to get a good job, and this is nothing new. But I feel like education is empowerment. So once many of us actually choose the life that we want and actually support it, you want a good job, you go for it, you know? You want to go through school, you go for it. And then people will start, you get a voice. Then suddenly you can do the things that you love. And for those out there who want to get married, of course do it. I'm not against the institution. I'm against this idea that marriage is the end goal for women, marriage and children.
And what if you meet Prince Charming along the way? Will you get married again?
If Prince Charming came along, I mean, if you can find him, send him my way. But for this, right now, I genuinely believe that I don't want to get married. And it's a challenge, you know? You even meet strangers who ask you, when are you going to get married? It's a challenge for me, and I feel like I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable in knowing that this is not what I want. You know, for the first time in my life, I'm finding exciting things and I want to pursue them. If someone comes along later, then that will be it. But for now, no Prince Charming for me.
I appreciate you speaking to us, Lulu, and we wish you all the best. And by the time I was speaking to Lulu, she had raised about £6,000 out of the £10,000 that she needs to fund her studies. And after the mock wedding on Friday, a total of £7,080 had been raised. This story clearly shows that marriage is not necessarily what girls and women are striving to achieve in their lives. There are other important issues as well, apart from marriage, like career, for example, for some, and even education for those like Lulu. And just like she says, she finds fulfillment in pursuing her education at this time, other than focus on marriage. True happiness depends on you, not on what the society wants you to achieve. And if you're also interested to keep Lulu's dream alive, you can contribute in her GoFundMe account. That's all for this week's segment of This is Culture. Till next time, ciao.